Hey, and welcome to another episode of Lorekeeper. In today's episode, we'll be discussing the wonderful, possibly deadly, but nonetheless delicious Perk-A-Cola history and their abilities. Perk-A-Colas made their first appearance in World at War's first DLC map, Verrückt. Only 4 perks were introduced at this time, being Juggernog, Speed Cola, Double Tap, and Quick Revive. As the series went along through Black Ops 1 to Black Ops 2, a new perk was introduced in nearly every map. This halted in Black Ops 3, where the only new perk we would receive was Widow's Wine, while Black Ops 4 went overboard with its new perks, only for one of them to return in Black Ops Cold War alongside a new perk, Elemental Pop. But what is the origin of these beverages? While the perks are of 935's own invention, it was actually thanks to Dr. Monty for their existence, nudging the timeline to ensure their creation. Why? I suppose it meant further abuse of Element 115, allowing for paradoxes, time loops, and multiversal bleeding. One could assume that the Perk-A-Colas were another answer to the Nazi super soldier desires, as the perks could enhance soldiers' abilities or even grant them new ones. Group 935 went on to create Juggernog, Quick Revive, Double Tap, both versions, Speed Cola, Deadshot Daiquiri, Mule Kick, and the Wonder Fizz machine. The Ascension group created both PhD Flopper and Stamina Up respectively, and Division 9 more than likely created Widow's Wine. Unfortunately, not all perks have lore behind them, but you can mostly boil it down to it being a Group 935 invention. While in the Dark Ether storyline, Sergeant Zykov, when trapped in the Dark Ether, came across the remnants of these beverages and restored them, even revamping their designs. He sent them out of the Dark Ether to assist the Requiem strike teams across their operations, but those old perk machines are completely forgotten, as the Wonder Fizz is made up of the original models for Speed Cola, Quick Revive, and Juggernog. In Vanguard, the Perk-A-Colas are absent and instead replaced by demonic fountains, which we'll get into a little more detail later. These demonic fountains were beverages to the Elder Gods in the Dark Ether, consisting of demon blood. But what do all of these do anyway? Well,
strap in, folks. It's gonna get bumpy.
Starting with the most iconic of them all, Juggernog. With this perk, you'll be able to sustain more damage, going from 2 hits to 4 hits in World at War, Black Ops 1, and Black Ops 2. In Black Ops 3, you'll go from 3 hits to 5 hits, and finally, in Black Ops Cold War, Vanguard, and Modern Warfare 3, you just get more health as the damage scaling works differently in the modern titles. Oh, I should mention, Juggernog's name is entirely different in Vanguard, as is any returning perk within that game. In Vanguard, Juggernog is referred to as Fiendish Fortitude. This perk is essential for survival, and its absence in Black Ops 4 led many to whine and complain, which they still do to this day. The perk would return, however, in Black Ops Cold War, with Treyarch emphasizing its return in the gameplay reveal for Die Maschine. Quick Revive. This perk allows you to revive other players faster, making it easier to get them back in the game and to prevent yourself from getting swarmed while picking a buddy up. In Black Ops 1 to Black Ops 3, Quick Revive gained the ability to revive you, but only in solo games, and only for 3 downs before it disappeared. This ability was revoked in Black Ops 4 onward, as there were new methods of self-revive added. But in Black Ops 4, Black Ops Cold War, Vanguard, and Modern Warfare 3, Quick Revive gained the ability to regenerate lost health faster, so that made up for it. In Vanguard, Quick Revive was referred to as Venomous Vigor. Quick Revive will cost the player 1500 points across all games prior to Cold War, while in solo matches from Black Ops 1 to Black Ops 3, it cost the player 500 points, but as I mentioned before, its solo properties were revoked in Black Ops 4 onward. Double Tap Root Beer. In World at War and Black Ops 1, this perk only increased your weapon's rate of fire. Many players felt this to be useless or sometimes even harmful towards ammo preservation. So in Black Ops 2 onward, Double Tap was changed to the superior Double Tap 2.0. Now instead of shooting faster, your weapon will fire 2 bullets at once at the cost of a single bullet. However, for projectile-based weapons like the ray gun, for example, it would increase its rate of fire instead. This change was much needed, as it allowed for weapons to keep their strength for longer amounts of time. This perk has yet to return since Black Ops 3, however. Speed Cola. With this perk, you could reload your weapon 60% faster, speeding up your life. However, in Black Ops Cold War, this was nerfed to a 15% increase, and through upgrades could be a 30% increase. In World at War to Black Ops 2, as well as in Cold War, Speed Cola also increased the speed of rebuilding barriers. The perk was absent in Black Ops 4, but its ability was somewhat still around if you had all 4 perks on you. In Vanguard, the perk is referred to as Demonic Frenzy. This is both Richtofen's favorite perks. PhD Flopper. A perk so good that Treyarch always hesitates on bringing it back. With PhD Flopper, you become resistant to fall damage, which was given to Stamina Up in Cold War onwards, explosive damage, and trap resistance. You could also dolphin dive off a ledge and cause an explosion around you. While in Black Ops 4 and Black Ops Cold War, you would cause an explosion by sliding into zombies. But with the dolphin dive being in Modern Warfare 3, the glorious flopper ability has returned to us at long last. Once again, it is time to drop your body to the floor and give those zombies some more of your explosive loving. It was terrible. Treyarch liked to tease this perk a lot, whether it was in the elevator shaft in Die Rise, off the docks in Mob of the Dead, or making it a useless gobblegum in Black Ops 3. They always cave eventually. Stamina Up. With the help of Stamina Up, you may run like the wind. You may even outrun it. All Stamina Up does is increase your sprinting speed and duration, though in Cold War onward, Stamina Up also protects you from fall damage. This perk was a genuine lifesaver in Origins. In Vanguard, Stamina Up is referred to as Ethereal Haste. Deadshot Daiquiri. Deadshot assists hipfire accuracy on sniper rifles, and snaps to the head when the player aims down sight. In Black Ops 4 onward, the perk gained the ability to deal increased damage when landing shots on critical parts of an enemy. This perk was pretty much useless on PC versions until Black Ops 4, where it assisted with hipfire for all weapons. In Black Ops 4, the perk was referred to as Deadshot Dealer, while in Vanguard, it was referred to as Diabolical Damage. Mule Kick. A popular glitch in Black Ops 1 would allow players to wield 3 weapons at once. This was obviously patched out, but as an answer to this, Treyarch introduced Mule Kick in the final DLC for Black Ops 1. With Mule Kick, players could officially carry 3 weapons at once, but they'd lose their 3rd weapon if they downed. To further answer players on the patched out glitch, Mule Kick was retroactively added to all maps in Black Ops 1. Tombstone Soda. The most infamous Perk-A-Cola in all of zombies. A genius idea on paper, but always terrible in execution. If the player goes down, they have the option to bleed out immediately. When the next round starts, they'll respawn as they normally would, but the place where they bled out, a tombstone power-up will be in its place. When the player picks up their tombstone, they receive all of the weapons and perks they had in that life, which only incentivizes dying and ditching your allies. This perk was infamous due to the map it was on being too big. In Black Ops Cold War, the perk would return, but with some modified abilities, such as taking Who's Who's ability to become a spirit and revive yourself to keep your perks. This doesn't really work though, and you only keep 3 to 4 perks at most. When you fully bleed out, the Tombstone power will cost all of your points, so honestly, in my opinion, just avoid this perk altogether. But in Modern Warfare 3, Tombstone only works if your whole squad dies in that game and aren't rescued. When you spawn into your next game, you'll have to run to the spot you died. Upon finding your tombstone, you'll be able to grab whatever you had stored in your backpack, along with all the points you had on you. Weapons, perks, and kill streaks you had, however, won't come back. Who's Who. As I briefly mentioned in the tombstone section, Who's Who would turn you into a ghost, should you down, allowing you to revive yourself. This sounds pretty great and everything, but here's the downsides. The zombies still see you. You spawn with the starting pistol, unpack-a-punched. If you fail to save yourself, then you lose your things. If you do succeed in reviving yourself, however, then you keep the perks you had on you, so I suppose it's a risk and reward, but nobody likes it, so why bother, you know? Electric Cherry. For years, I never noticed that the perk's name was a clever pun on electric chair. Anyway, with this perk, anytime you reload, an electric shock will burst around you, stunning or killing zombies through the process. This is a good perk to give you a few millisecond breather. In Black Ops 4, it was referred to as Electric Burst and gained the modifier ability of empowering a melee weapon after an electric reload. The perk wouldn't return in Black Ops Cold War onward, unfortunately, but its ability was given Elemental Pop, so it's not gone entirely. Vulture Aid Elixir. My personal favorite perk for no real reason, to be honest. Vulture Aid highlights perks, wall buys, the mystery box, and the pack-a-punch through walls, as well as increasing the eye glow effect on all of the zombies. And finally, killing zombies would drop small amounts of ammunition and points for the player to pick up. Sometimes they'll leave a green smoke too, and if the player stands in it, then the zombies will ignore them for a short amount of time. It isn't overly useful, but I like it. The perk's abilities would be distributed upon other perks in the series, such as Blood Wolf Bite, Cold War's Mule Kick, or Death Perception, for some examples. Der Wunderfizz. It's basically a mystery box, but for Perk-A-Colas. Locate it via a lightning strike and spin it for 1500 points. If you got a teddy bear perk bottle, then the Wunderfizz would leave. In Black Ops 4, the Wunderfizz was replaced by 4 variants of the Wunderfizz, but it was only the Wunderfizz in name, and didn't share any of its properties. The 4 machines were soda, tonic, brew, and cola. The player could choose which perks appeared in these machines. While in Black Ops Cold War, the Wunderfizz is no longer a mystery box, but instead a hub for the player to buy any and all perks whenever they want. Widow's Wine. Widow's Wine acts as a line of defense, protecting you when you get attacked, releasing a spew of webs that stun and damage zombies in its range. It also increases your melee damage and changes your grenades into web nades? This perk was considered overpowered by many, but it was kinda needed in my opinion. It was replaced in Black Ops 4 by Winter's Wail. Death Perception. This perk allows you to see zombies through walls, as well as indicators for any zombies closing in on your backside. Its modifier ability grants increased damage on special weak points, which carried over into Deadshot and Cold War onwards. Speaking of, in Cold War, it also increased the rate of the minimap's blips and the amount of salvage you'd collect. Better for newer players in my opinion, and the salvage makes it worth it for everyone. Time Slip. Equipment rate was decreased, and the spinning of the mystery box was instantaneous. The modifier ability would increase the recharge rate on your specialist ability and your elixirs. Ethereal Razor. Increase the range of your knife lunges, the modifier ability would instantly kill basic enemies, as long as it was a non-lunge attack, and increase damage to other types of enemies. It also adds an AoE effect, as long as it's an offhand swipe. And finally, it restores small portions of lost HP. Dying Wish. In Blundel's weird attempt to remove crutch perks, he would end up allowing the most crutch perk of all time to make it through into Black Ops 4. Should you reach 1 health, you'll be given invulnerability for a short period of time. During this time, your melee damage is increased. When the invulnerability ends, you'll remain at 1 HP until it recharges. Its modifier, however, restores you to full health. Stone Cold Stronghold. Unfortunately, not many of the Black Ops 4 maps really benefit this perk, but it's nice for players who like to camp. Should the player stand still, a blue ring will form around them. When inside of this blue ring, you gain armor and increased damage. Its modifier ability increases the regeneration time of the armor, and any zombies killed in the circle further regenerate it. Victorious Tortoise. Your shield will block all incoming attacks from all sides when held. When the shield breaks, it'll cause a defensive explosion. Its modifier ability allows you to knock over heavier enemies with a shield bash. Bandolier Bandit. Increases your stock ammo count. The modifier ability refills your magazines when the weapon's in your reserve. Winter's Wail. As mentioned before, it behaves similarly to Widow's Wine. It protects the player when damaged twice, sending out a frozen blast that slows zombies down or turns them to ice. Its modifier ability has a continuous freezing shockwave around the player for a short time upon being attacked twice, and holds on to an extra charge. Zombshell. Occasional shots will create a small AoE that slows zombies down in its range, and increases damage done to them. It lasts for 5 to 10 seconds. Its modifier ability borrows from Vulture, where if the player stands in the AoE, zombies will temporarily ignore them. Bloodwolf Bite. If the player manages to cause extreme amount of damage in a short amount of time, a wolf will be summoned into the battlefield, named Luna. Luna will run around mauling zombies. Its modifier ability borrows from Vulture, having zombies drop small amounts of ammo and points, while Luna's kills will add charge to your specialist weapons. Blaze Phase. If the player crouches, it'll store a flaming energy. Upon standing, the player will blast forward a great distance, usually killing or knocking over zombies along the way. Its modifier ability allows the player to increase the charge, which will send them launching infinitely until hitting a wall. Elemental Pop. With Elemental Pop, why choose a single element when you can have them all? When shooting into the hordes, randomly it will choose 1 ammo mod. It also increases elemental weakness damage, reduces ammo mod cooldowns, and has an electric shock around the player upon reloading. It's pretty damn good! And that has been every Perk-A-Cola in the series thus far. I know this was a long one, and I hope it was sort of entertaining. This took forever to make, so I apologize. But if you did watch this far, which perk's your favorite? Whether it's for its jingle, ability, design, I'm interested to know. Anyway, thanks for watching, have a great day, and I'll see you in the next one.